Run it, I can't take no loss. I don't even know what it costs. I hit the ground then it go off. Yeah, hit the ground then it go off. Yeah, I can't take no loss. I don't even know what it costs. Yeah, I hit the ground then it go off. Yeah, hit the ground then it go off. Yeah, I really feel it's my time. Think it's my.
Hey guys, so today's video I'm going to give you a little bit behind the scenes of a gym session, why I do what I do and what we're doing. I've got my strength and conditioning guy Rico Martin here, just having a little bit of a warm up on the treadmill now, and then we're going to go and do some bit of dynamic warm up and
serious stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Tends to call my really fired up.
Yeah.
Don't let it pull you around. Kind of meet it with some energy, you know. Okay, 5, 4.
In most gym sessions, depending on kind of what you've done in the day as to how much of a warm-up you need to do, but yeah, generally a warm-up with some mobility is a great way to start the workout. Most workouts I kind of do around an hour, a little bit longer, and I always try and do a workout after riding, especially if I've got a ride on the day. I really don't like doing a gym session pre-ride. I just find for like grip strength and kind of fatigue, riding's the main part of my job, and kind of the strength training is to complement that. So the riding comes first, but then I try and fit it around that. Rico, if you had 3 exercises that you could tell an up-and-coming rider to do.
3 exercises?
Yeah.
Bench, obviously. And then a lower body one that gets the knee to a big range, like I suppose it could be a squat or a dumbbell lunge.
Yeah.
And then something with a hip hinge, like an RDL.
Yeah. Yeah.
If I had to.
Yeah, yeah, if that was the only
if I had to, if you're going to force me into a corner, yeah.
Yeah.
But there would be 20 exercises you might do.
Yeah.
Probably no more than that.
I don't see the bottom.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah. So
I don't know if there's something down there looking up at you, do you? An octopus or something.
So 5?
No, just a single. Just do one.
Just do one.
Cool.
Are you ready?
Yes, we're just doing a straight up session. There's nothing really we're aiming for today. We're just having a look because, you know, I live in Wales, Steve lives in Italy, so we're just catching up and seeing how things move. And this was roughly what he moved back in, was it the end of November?
Yeah, yeah.
And it was a struggle, so it should go a little bit quicker today. And of course we're in between races as well, so we're not going to do anything serious. But like I said, we're just having a couple of workouts, so let's see it go.
Yeah.
Speed on the way up into a lock. That's it. Yep.
This year, working with Rico, we kind of got to know each other at the 6 days last year, in Spain. And I felt like, so strength work's something that I've done to a degree in the past, but never at kind of the level that I feel like I'm doing now. And honestly, it's one of the biggest improvements I've felt this off season, and having the structure that Rico kind of offers in his programs is something that I really enjoy. You know, I don't have to go to a gym and think about what I'm going to do and kind of figure out, yeah, basically the exercises I want to do. So everything's there, everything's ready for me to do. The app's super easy, like you guys have seen in previous videos. And honestly, yeah, it's a breath of fresh air to kind of have a plan, go there, execute it, and yeah, see the improvements which I have done. So it's definitely a good thing this year that I've really enjoyed doing, and yeah. I can see the benefits and see the benefits in my riding.
Show me the benefits then. So place the toe and see if you can lift the knee and stay there. Can you do 6 of them?
Oh.
Like if you try and trap a weasel, a whole lot of them come for you. Do you know that?
No. What would you say is the most overrated exercise in the gym?
Be on the spot there. Most overrated?
Yeah.
Give me some more context. As what?
So, what have you seen online and people are kind of saying, do this, do that, do this? Like I know you do quite the funny Instagram videos where you've got elastic bands.
Yeah, all the elastic band stuff I'm not really into.
Yeah.
I don't know, the most overrated exercise. There's not enough context in it.
No.
The exercise I see done the worst
Yeah.
is probably an RDL.
Yeah.
Where they try and get the bar as close to the ground as possible, and that's not the goal.
Yeah. Shall I show you my RDL? And it's something that you mention a lot, is like trying to mimic bike exercises and your positions.
Bring the camera back. So when someone's trying to make the session look like they're riding a bike,
Yeah.
completely useless. You might do it at the end of a session for some fun if you wanted to, or at the end of the program just for some specificity, again just for fun, but you cannot anchor a program off exercises like that. They are not enough. Because you want to build strength, you need load, and the more sport specific the exercise looks, the less you can load it. So it doesn't work.
No. Exactly. And like I say, it's all strength works complementing what you're doing on the bike. It's not like if you spend 10 hours a week in the gym, you're suddenly going to be a hell of a lot faster on a bike. It's just built, making sure your body's more adaptable to basically, impacts to riding, to be strong, to kind of, to choose.
More robust, give you more potential,
Exactly.
give you more capacity to work with. It's, for example, if I was training a rugby player, I wouldn't try and mimic rugby scenarios in the gym. I would make that rugby player faster and stronger, more athletic, and then hand them over to the rugby coach, now an athlete with more potential.
Yeah.
So you don't try and mix them. Don't try and mix them. Separate them.
Separate. Again, flat hand.
Ain't going. That's it. Some force on the way up. That's it. Drive it out of the bottom. Cool.
This video might come out a few weeks after we filmed it, but this isn't a recent injury. This is a bit of a
Requires an
hematoma.
explanation.
Exactly. So this is still my hematoma. You might have seen it from the last video. This is just a bit of a patch to kind of draw out some of the inflammation, and this is a bit of a bandage. So don't worry, I haven't re-injured myself. It's just a bit of trying to get rid of the old hematoma, which is being a bit of a pain in the ass, if I'm honest. Post gym session, just out for a little bit of a walk to chill off. But can answer a couple of questions. First one from Dash Report 4. So basically he said he's a 61-year-old gentleman, asking about hip mobility, leg cramps, and just general conditioning. From my side, I think from the cramping point of view, I feel like it's more perhaps diet orientated. I know depending on how long you're riding for, training for, water's okay, good for hydration, but you need something extra inside that water. And I guess from hip mobility, Rico, there's a lot of stuff on YouTube. Like you say, I guess from your side, it's more of a strength.
Right,
Could be a strength issue.
As a 61-year-old, you know spring chicken anymore, and you know that. So I would attack all aspects, do a mobility class like a yoga class or something each week, and also work on your strength. And with the cramp, like you mentioned before, if there's a muscle
Blood 3, 2012.
it's overworked, it can cramp. So a weak muscle isn't a good muscle. So I would again work on strength and mobility. It's not, there's nothing new, nothing fancy. I would just do that and pay focus to hydration, of course. Well, I get it too. My hip flexors cramp if I'm in a seated position for too long on a mountain bike or something. And I know that for me is that area is weak. So I just ride, pay attention to your strength work, pay attention to your electrolyte balances. It's nothing new.
Yeah, and just to touch on the hip mobility, I think that's probably one area where I would say that from a flexibility point of view, I'm quite weak, but I'm a big believer in you can be too flexible in some areas. And you think most of our lives as athletes, you're running, you're cycling, you're riding a bike, everything's kind of hunched over, you're in that squatted position a lot. So to counteract that, you're going to need to do a lot of stretching work. And like I say, it's something that I don't do, but it's not something that I say really limits me from a professional point of view. But it's just something to, if it's really struggling and you're really hindering you, then it is something you need to work on and put some effort into to kind of get mobile. Would you say, Rico, would you say there's like a cookie cutter program for everyone, or especially high performance athletes, you think you need to tailor more to what they're looking for from the sport and perhaps their weaknesses in the gym?
So cookie cutter programs can work really well, but the problem is they assume that everyone starting it is completely healthy, and is in the same place, and they're not, because some people might need to lose weight, some people might have an injury, some people race at different times, and you get the picture. But you know, an athlete specific program is always going to be the best based on their timeline and their schedule and what they want to achieve and what they need to gain from last year. But what you might find is that I might have 10 athletes who all do enduro, and at the start of the off season you plan a periodized program, and it could look exactly the same for each one of those 10 people. But what you find is when you actually get to the season and you look back, the path has been completely different for them all, because things come up, injuries and things throughout the off season. So it's always best to get an athlete specific program for you, but a cookie cutter program can get you a decent level of athleticism if that's all you've got access to.
Question I get asked a lot, kind of like how many times would I ride the bike during a week? It depends a lot what time of the season. Pre-season you tend to put a lot more hours on the bike. During the season you're managing the fatigue obviously from the racing, and you're trying to maintain. I know I would always suggest, if you want to kind of maintain, I know a lot of you probably do work during the week, so you're not, you know, you're not a professional like me and have the flexibility to ride when you want, where you want. I would say once a week to kind of keep a level. 2 days a week you need to ride if you want to improve your level and work on things. And then for us, like professionals, I find 3 to 4 days. I would never really ride more than 4 days a week. I never ride more than 3 days in a row. So if I'm doing a particularly hard training session, I might ride 2 days in a row, have a day off, and then another 2 days, and then maybe an easier motocross day at the end of the week. But like I say, I'm kind of 3 to 4 days a week kind of rider during the season especially. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed this episode with Rico, and just giving you a bit of an insight into what I do in the gym and why I do it. But thank you very much for watching, and see you next week.